Welcome to Worldwide Business. I'm Kathy Ireland. For many injured workers, chronic pain can give way to the overuse of pain medications, prolonging the functional restoration and well-being of the individual. In response to this concern, Adva-Net has created a pain specialty network dedicated to the workers' compensation industry. Chief Sales Officer Bernie McCabe is here to tell us more about its benefits. Welcome, Bernie.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kathy.
Bernie, could you please highlight the growing concern surrounding the management of chronic pain in our country?
Absolutely. Chronic pain is a national epidemic right now. It's affecting over 100 million adult Americans. It's only going to grow more and more because the aging workforce. Now, it's adversely affecting the insurers and the employers out there financially, but it's also affecting that patient. And that's the important part. It's affecting every aspect of their life, both physically and emotionally. Now, typically or historically, how they managed chronic pain was more from a cost savings side of it. There was no clinical approach to it, and that's what we're adding.
Bernie, could you please tell us how Adva-Net is addressing these challenges?
Absolutely. What we created at Adva-Net is a multi-pronged, patient-centric approach to it. And really our primary focus is to get that patient to the right care at the right time with the right provider. Now, how's that work? We need to make sure that we've engaged all three entities in regards to that, the patient, the provider, as well as the payer. And how we're doing that, we're the facilitator for that. We're making sure that the treatment matches the provider that we chose. We're making sure that the payer is well aware of the visits and what's going on with the process. And we're making sure that the provider is well informed. We want to make sure that we're a resource for that provider on an ongoing basis. And really our network allows us to do that because not only did they go through a stringent credentialing process with us, but they also shared the common goal of better outcomes. And better outcomes is the key to us being successful in the pain management addiction world.
Well, let's pause to discover more about Adva-Net in this Worldwide Business Field Report.
Adva-Net is the first and largest pain specialty network in the workers' compensation industry. Their comprehensive network solution streamlines all aspects of care, which improves patient outcomes and helps reduce costs.
Pain management will continue to be a focus within the workers' compensation industry, and one of the critical areas will be early intervention within pain management. The sooner we can get ahead of what is driving the pain management for the injured worker, the sooner we will be able to put the right processes and right services in place to manage the pain for that injured worker. Within our CAMP program and our collaboration with Adva-Net, we will be able to successfully return those injured workers back to work in a status that will meet the requirements that our clients are looking for.
Each injured worker and really each individual in life experiences pain in a very different and unique way. So our goal is to educate and get injured workers back to work as quickly as possible. And the workers' compensation system, when you have millions of injured workers across the country experiencing pain in a very unique way, the challenge is how do we address that pain in a multidisciplinary way, in a comprehensive way that allows a continuum of care that gets that person back to work as quickly as possible.
Bernie, please tell us a little bit about Adva-Net and why you've entered the pain management and addiction recovery space.
Actually, at Adva-Net, we have over 125 years of experience across our senior lead team. And with that experience, it covers a wide spectrum from the provider side, from the payer side, as well as the specialty network management side. That diversity allowed us to provide different perspectives on how we wanted to handle pain management and addiction recovery. We know that the specialty network management works. We all came from a background that we saw that across all variations of the industry. Take, for example, physical medicine. A lot of us came with that background. 15 to 20 years ago, there was no management controls on physical therapy. There was no clinical oversight in place, and the visits would just go on forever. 20 to 30 was the norm. 16 was the average number of visits for a PT case. Until they started putting management controls on them and the clinical oversight, that quickly turned into 8 to 9 visits over a course of a 10-year period to make sure that they're seeing the results in utilization, shortening that duration of care, getting that person to the right provider, and making sure that the treatments are in line with what they should be for that patient. So what we look for is the other areas of the industry that were underserved and unmanaged. We saw that pain management and addiction recovery were their two biggest concerns. So we set out to set up a clinically outcome-based program for that specifically. And what we're looking for is obviously early returns for both the injured worker as well as the employer, as well as working with that provider to be a resource for them ongoing.
Bernie, can you please talk about the mission and the vision behind Adva-Net?
We're the only one in this space right now. And it's really an untapped market. It's an unmanaged market. What we want to do is be the forerunner on what they want to see from pain management and addiction recovery.
Adva-Net is the only nationwide company that focuses on pain management. They bring unique clinical skills to the setting, which enables the Broadspire team to add more robust concepts to our pain management program. Adva-Net's responsiveness and the quality controls that they have in place from a clinical perspective lend to Broadspire a very unique ability to be able to treat our injured workers. With the integration within our CAMP program, we have been able to expand on our nationwide footprint. We've been able to expand the services that we offer to the injured workers, which at the end of the day will bring the best results to our clients. We've seen the shift now to pain management because we are starting to see that there are more employers that are concerned about the effects that opioids have on their injured workers, and we need to find alternatives in order to be able to offer opportunities to control the use of opioids, and that is where pain management is now starting to become a very important program identifier within the workers' compensation industry.
Adva-Net's philosophy is based on a continuum of care model. And when I'm talking about a continuum of care model, I actually mean starting while the injured worker is in a program. We need to look at both pain and we need to look at addiction at the same time. We need to look at potential for addiction. We need to look at how that injured worker is responding to treatment for pain and how quickly we can get that injured worker back to work. And in our continuum of care model, we start at day one and we go through all the way through treatment until that person is back to work. And that provides for good quality care, it provides for cost containment, and it helps that patient and injured worker get back to work as quickly as possible.
And Bernie, can you talk about your care coordination process?
Our care coordination, Kathy, is really the key component to managing the care throughout the process. Yes, in the initial stages, we are going to make sure we make that three-point contact to, again, the provider, to the patient, and to the payer. We want to make sure that everyone's in sync in regards to what's going on. And we become the facilitator for that process. So we want to make sure, first off, for the patient, that we're finding that proper provider. And for the payer, we're making sure that we're setting the proper timetables in regards to when we're going to get those visits started. And really what the employers want to see is, when does that clock start ticking? And when do I possibly get this person back to work?
And could you please talk about the type of providers you partner with?
There's actually two different types of providers that we work with. One is the doctor side, which includes the anesthesiologist, the pain management specialists, and then there's the facility side. The facility side, that's your addiction recovery centers, that's your post-acute care facilities, as well as your pain management clinics. So we have two different kinds that work hand in hand. As the doctors and the facilities are our two primary provider types.
Once the injured worker completes the program, it doesn't stop there. We follow the patient after the program and we look at outcomes. We make sure the outcomes are positive. If they're not, we bring them back in at Chemo Palms and they come back through a program that we call aftercare. And in that aftercare model, they come in, they visit, they get a little bit of a booster from what they learned, and then they go back out into society and back to work, and they function at a much higher rate.
Bernie, can you please tell us about your provider network coverage?
We are actually in every part of the country right now. Currently, we're at 23,000 in pain management specialists. We're at 5,200 for post-acute care facilities, and we're at 3,000 for addiction recovery facilities as well as professionals. So we're over 31,000 in our network right now and only growing.
Well, Bernie, it certainly appears that employers, patients, and providers can all benefit from Adva-Net's network. Thank you so much for joining us, and continued success to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. For Worldwide Business, I'm Kathy Ireland. Thank you for watching.